Hello grade 5! Welcome back to my channel! It's me, Maam Ann. For today ay meron naman tayong panibagong lesson tungkol sa ating Science 5 Quarter 4 from week 7 to 8. So, our lesson for these 2 weeks is Constellation. But before that, if you are new to my YouTube channel, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you will be updated if I have a new upload videos. Okay, so our lesson for these 2 weeks about constellation. At the end of the lesson, you should be able to identify the star patterns that can be seen during particular times of the year. Okay, have you learned in the previous lesson the moon has 8 phases? Namely, new moon, waxing crescent, first quarter, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, and last quarter, and waning crescent. So the moon goes these 8 phases in the 29.5 days. So the period it takes for the moon to complete the phases is called the month. So, every month, meron nangyayari po or nagaganap po yung 8 phases of the moon. So, what are those 8? So, new moon, waxing crescent, first quarter, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, last quarter, and waning crescent. So, yan po. So, it takes 29.5 days. Okay, so, do you know that the moon does not produce its own light? Diba? As I said in the previous lesson that our moon does not have their own light. So, nagre-reflect lang po siya from our sun. So, the moon only reflects the light coming from the sun, which is one particular example of a star. So, a sun is an example of star. So the sun is an average size star. So it is the star closest to Earth. That is why we can see it. Now we will learn more about the stars' particulars, the groups of the stars from definite patterns in the sky. So again, our sun is an example of the average star. Star po ang ating sun. Siya yung pinakamalapit na star from the Earth. That's why nakikita natin yung sun. Okay, so now proceed. So a group of stars that is known as constellations. So meron yung mga sa zodiac sign natin, yan po ang binabasihan, and then there are many beliefs in that zodiac sign. So now we will discuss about this constellation. So what is constellations? So, constellation, these are the groups of stars that form clear pattern in the sky. So, sa mga astronomers, in-study nila yan, yung mga patterns of, or a set of a group, the group of the stars. So, that is why constellation. Yan po ang tinatawag na constellation. So, the ancient people first observed these groups of stars as outlines of animals and other objects. So, parang So, sa mga ancient people or the ancient scientists or astronomers, kapag meron silang nakikita dun sa kalawakan, and then, nabubuo siya ng, it's either animals ba siya or object, tapos, binibigyan na nila yon ng pangalan. So, they found it easier to locate and remember constellation when they are trying to find a clear and particular pattern the way of group of stars are engaged. So, that is why meron na silang siniset na name for that particular constellation kasi hindi siya nawawala. Nandun lang siya sa isang location, and then yun lang ang palagi nilang tinitingnan. So, for example, in the northern hemisphere, they are observed a group of stars which they thought looked like a dragon. So they named this group of Draco. So, yan po. Yan lang po ang mga trabaho nila or yung nag-study sila about that. Na tumitingin lang sila sa kalawakan, and then kapag may nabuo nila yung parang dragon, so tinatawag na nila yon, yung pattern na yon is napo-form siya into dragon. So dragon. So yun. So that particular constellation they name as Draco. Yan. So in the southern hemisphere, so they notice a group of stars that is seemingly formed a cross, and so they call it Southern Cross. So now, there are different, there are two hemispheres, diba? The northern and the south. So na-identify nila yun through the patterns. So the Draco in the northern hemisphere and the Southern Cross in the southern hemisphere. And it is an example of illustration about the group of stars that form a clear patterns in the sky. So, yan po, there's a lot of constellations. Merong Cancer, Gemini, Taurus, Aries, Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, Sagittarius, Scorpius, Libra, Virgo, Leo. So, every month, meron yang, for example, ako, July. July is ako ay Leo. Leo girl ako, Leo. So, yun po. So, there's a particular constellation within your birth month. Yan. So, now, some of the known constellation and stars. So the International Astronomical Union, or the IAU, made a list of the official modern constellation. So sa Amerika lang yun nangyayari. So meron silang listahan ng mga official na mga modern constellation. So there are 88 constellation on the list. So there are, oh my God, so ang dami ng constellation nasa universe. Hindi lang yung Leo, Gemini, Aquarius, so there's a lot. Meron pang marami pa pong iba. And then, and many of these were discovered by the ancient Greeks. So, sila lang yung mga masisipag na nag-aaral tungkol sa constellation, yung mga Greeks. So, ito, one of the example of the constellation is the Ursa Major and the Ursa Minor. So, anong ibig sabihin yan? Ursa Major, Ursa Minor. Yan. So, it's resemble a big bear. So, how come? So, ako hindi ko yan maintindihan paano naging big bear. So, pero sa ancient Greek, yun na nga, big bear ang tingin nila dyan. But, yun na nga, pag sinabing Ursa Major, big bear ang pattern. And is the third largest constellation in the night sky. So, pang-tatlo yung Big Bear sa one of the biggest constellation that we can see in the night sky. So, it includes the Big Dipper. Yan, Big Dipper. So, nung high school ako, observe sa amin yan. So, meron nga Big Dipper. So, i-connect mo lang kasi yung mga dot doon sa sky. So, with the use of telescope. Yan. So now, the Big Dipper, which is composed of the 7 stars. So, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, 7 stars. It's composed of 7 stars. And then, Alcor, and Mizar appears as 1. Altiot, Megris, Pekda, Mirak, and Dobe. So, yan po yung mga name ng mga 7 stars na nandun po sa Big Dipper. Oh my God! Ang hirap, diba? So, kasi Greek nga po ang nag-umpisa ng mga constellation. That is why, very unfamiliar terms ang naririnig natin ngayon. So, now, let's proceed. So, it is a little bear containing a group of stars known as the Little Dipper. So, ito naman ay opposite ni Big Dipper. So, when you say small and big, so there is a different of that term. Small and big. So, Little Dipper. So, the handle of the Dipper serves as the little bear tails and the Dipper's cup. So, it is the bear's tie. So, the most famous star in the Ursa Minor is the Polaris. So, Polaris is also called as the North Star. When you say the North Star, siya yung pinakakinang. Yan palagi ang tinitingnan ng ating mga sailor noong unang panahon Yan ang tinitingnan ng mga sailor natin, yung mga yung mga seaman, na kapag ay nakikita nila si North Star, ibig sabihin north na, papunta na sila doon sa north, nasa north na sila. So, nakikita niya napakakinang ng ating North Star. So, some constellations are named after the Greek mythology legends. So, two of them are Cassiopeia, the Queen, and the Orion, the Hunter. So, yan po. Kasi, kapag nasa college na kayo, ang gandang topic po itong mga Greek mythology kasi napaka-unfamiliar kasi. Tapos, parang na-enjoy ka kapag nakikinig mo yung mga god and goddesses ng Greek. So, yun. So, Cassiopeia is, it consists of 5 stars that seem to form the letter W. So, it represents the Queen Cassiopeia and then the Cassiopeia of the mythical kingdom of Ethiopia. Yan. Kapag meron niyang W na nakikita niyo sa constellation, si the Queen yun, si Queen Cassiopeia. So, it is one of the most recognizable constellation in the sky and it's visible throughout the world. So, 3 of these stars form its belt. Orion's belt is also the asterism. So, on Orion's right shoulder is a red supergiant star called the Betelgeuse. So, a bluish-white star called Rigel is found on the Orion's left knee. So, ito yung mga star na kilala. Mga kilalang star yung si Betelgeuse and si Rigel kasi lumalabas sa mga exam. So, kapag may pagka-bluish-white na yung star, siya yun si Rigel. Kapag red supergiant star, si Betelgeuse. So, si Orion belt ay ito po, napakamarami yung niya, group of stars. It's more than 7. There are some constellations that can be seen only during certain season of the year. So these are called North Polar Constellation and South Polar Constellation. So the constellation nearest the center of the Earth can be seen throughout the year. Okay, kapag nasa gitna ng sa Earth, makikita talaga yan buong taon. Okay, so the people living in the northern hemisphere and see constellation different from those living in the southern hemisphere. So kasi magkaiba po kasi ang location ni northern at saka ni southern. Yan. So the polar constellation, same of the North Polar Constellation include the following: Cassiopeia, Cepheus, Ursa Major, and Ursa Minor. So si Cepheus is the 27th largest constellation in the northern sky and it is faint but it is definite shape makes it easy to locate if you look in the north on August and September evening. So parang visible siya within that month, the August and September. So most of the time parang hindi siya visible but nakikita na sa atin doon sa north itong si Cepheus. Let's proceed to South Polar Constellation. Some of the South Polar Constellation include the following: Carina, Centaurus, and Crux. So, si Carina, pangalan ng tao. Ayan. So, Carina Constellation is located in the southern sky. Carina used to be part of the much larger constellation Argo Navis, along with the constellation Puppis and Vela. So, the constellation represents the mythical ship Argo. So, yan po yan, yung mga, ang ganda diba ng mga pangalan nila. So, kung may anak kayo, pwede nyo yung pangalan sa mga constellation kasi napaka-unique. Yun. So, si Carina nakikita natin sa southern sky. Okay, now next. Centaurus is the one largest constellation in the southern sky. So, it represents the centaur, the half-man, half-horse creature in Greek mythology. Nakikita natin siya sa Hercules na movie, si Centaur. Di ba? Ang ganda. Meron yan sa mga mythology eh. Mga Poseidon, mga... So, now, Centaurus contains 2 of the top 10 brightest stars in the sky. So, Alpha Centauri and the Beta Centauri. So, when we say Alpha, mga Greek din yan ng mga words. So, see, this Centaurus is seem to be a half horse and half man. So, yan nga, nakikita nyo yan sa movie na Hercules. Okay, the crux. So, the constellation crux, or which is the cross. Yan ang Greek word ng cross, the crux. So, is the constellation center of the 4 stars in the southern sky in a bright portion of the Milky Way. So, it is among the most easily distinguished constellation. So, the brilliant cross is formed by bright stars moving it one of the most familiar sights to southern hemisphere observers. So, yan po, si itong the cross ay siya yung pinaka-familiar na constellation doon sa ating southern hemisphere. Okay, what are the usefulness of constellation? Ano yung mga malaking bagay na malaking tulong sa atin ng constellation? Okay, since ancient times, constellations are always helpful to people. So they use the appearance of the certain stars to forecast the weather, and when stars are visible, they expect fair weather. So yan nga po nakikita natin kapag sa daily weather reports. So kapag nakikita natin yan every night na may mga stars, so ibig sabihin, kinabukasan ay warm weather tayo or maganda yung panahon natin. So, but when stars are heading behind the clouds, so the next day may be cloudy or rain. Kaya nga, di ba sa mga unang panahon, kapag wala na kayo nakikita mga stars, ibig sabihin, uulan talaga bukas. Yan. So, the constellation are helpful to navigators. Ibig sabihin ng navigators, yung mga seaman, mga sailor, and everything. Kapag, yan ang tinitingnan nila nung araw kasi wala pang compass, wala pang GPS, and map. Yun po. So, navigators use their knowledge in constellation in their conduct of their work. So, when they are lost of the sea, they refer to Polaris or the North Star, which is the Ursa Minor. So, they use Polaris as their guiding star, and Polaris is a fixed star. Hindi siya lumipat-lipat. Nandun lang talaga siya sa north. So, it is located at the north. So, by using Polaris as a guide, so it is easy to find the south, the east, and the west direction. So, simple. So, yun lang talaga ang basihan ng mga ating sailormen, the seamen, and everything kapag nandun sa karagatan. Kasi yan ang nakikita nila every night, si North Star. That's why, madali na nilang malalaman kung nasaan na silang direction. Okay. In your learning test 1, prepare the material listed below. If not available, you may use other materials at home to perform the activity. You may ask help of your parents, guardians, or any other members of the family if needed. So the activity title is about the constellation model. So our materials are the black colored paper or black cloth and chalk. Yun lang, simple. Sila na yung materials natin. So you follow the procedures and you answer the questions. So in our learning test 2, prepare the material, same instruction in our learning test 2, and the activity title, debugging superstitions about this star. So yan po, himay-himayin niyo yan kung ano yung mga superstitious belief ng star. Ibig sabihin, yung mga hindi siya scientific na explanation about the stars. So, your materials are the bond paper and ballpen. So, that is it. Yun lang po. And then, you must follow the procedures and you must follow the instructions and copy the table, superstitious and scientific explanation. And you must answer the questions. In your learning task 3, identify each constellation that can be seen of a particular time of the year. On the box provided each number. Draw a heart, eyes, emoji if the North Polar constellations. On the box provided before each number, draw a heart, eyes, emoji if it is a North Polar constellation. And wow emoji if it is South Polar constellation. So yun po kung South ba at saka North. So there are 5 items. In your learning test 4, explain the information that can be obtained from the location of constellation in the sky consider the rubric below in doing the test. So we have the rubrics. You must follow the level 4 if you want the perfect score. Okay, to sum up, ito na yung breakdown of what constellation is. So, there are two groups of constellation, which are the North Polar Constellation and the South Polar Constellation. So, in the North Polar Constellation, there are four major constellation: Cassiopeia, Cepheus, or sa Major or sa Minor. In the South Polar Constellation, there are three major constellation: the Carina, Centaurus, and Crux. Okay, so in our learning test 5, on the space provided, write true if the statement is correct and false if not. There are 5 items to be answered, and that's all. Thank you for watching and thank you for listening. And if you want the soft copy of our lip, please check out in our description box. And if you want the key answer of our assessment and the learning test 3, please check also in our description box. That's all for today. I hope you enjoy the video. Thank you and God bless.